Hello everybody, it's Adam Hurd with 973 Ramp again. Another short video, or we're going to try to make it short, on pocketing. This is one that I really had some debates on whether or not I would do, because I think some people waste a little too much time on pocketing, but I guess if they're going to do it anyway, show them some of the tricks I do, some of the mindset I have while pocketing to help make that quicker. So first I'll say, if your design isn't done, you shouldn't pocket. Pocketing is harder than most other things to make really reflexive, as in, have it automatically change when you change other dimensions. So you're wasting a whole bunch of time if your gearbox design isn't locked in and you pocket. Well, one, you shouldn't be spending the time pocketing when the design's not locked in. And two, if you then change the design, all the time you spent pocketing could be potentially wasted. So both ways, I really think that's silly. But let's say this plate is locked in and we like it and we know we're going to take some weight out of it. So we can't avoid it. We're going to pocket. So one of the styles I like to start with is I just start drawing all the material that I know I want. So I'll put holes around a lot of things, then come back and decide what I want to be equal. Not going to put holes around the center guy because I actually like to make that as a bearing block. Uh, the circle around these standoffs, based on how we made these edges vertical, is a little bigger than I usually would like, but we're going to run with that for the video. So let's say I want these holes to be 1.2, 1.25. That's a little big, but these sizes aren't important for the video, and if anything, I do not want to encourage people to do pocketing that is too small, and then come back to me and be mad at me for that. So we're going to go, I guess, fairly beefy on our pocketing in this video. In some cases, it's nice to make things tangent. Sometimes I do like to dimension things that are already constrained. This is called a driven dimension. Just so I can see what numbers are. So that's 550. That's bigger than I'd usually do, but whatever. We could have dimensioned that a half inch and been fine or something. So the next thing I like to do, let's get the bearing block in here. So I'm going to draw a fake bearing block essentially that is 1.875 wide and 1 and 5/16 tall. So I got that all in now. I will then click an edge, do offset entities. Click an edge, select tangency is a good way to select that whole edge. Do offset entities, reverse. Let's go with the 1/4 inch. This is going to be a beefy gearbox. I do not know why that made those blue, so we're going to rebuild and see what happens. That is interesting because you can see that these are fully constrained, or he was. I don't know what happened there, so I'll try to fix these. There we go. Don't know why that happened. SOLIDWORKS generally has not been goofing too much for me recently, but it did there. So now I have drawn all the kind of boundary conditions that I want, and now I got to connect stuff. So I like to kind of connect stuff based on how the load is flowing. Sometimes that's not possible, and making it look good and keeping it weight efficient. So it is kind of an iterative process. Pocketing is almost as much about looks as it is about strength. So some things like what's going to happen here might be better to do manually. And also, you saw that I did some of these lines direct point to point. I'm doing that kind of out of laziness now. Sometimes I like just having them end up somewhere in the circle where it would be undefined, and then based on the shape of the web, I would change it later. But I want to make this an easy example. So I will make those horizontal and equal at least, so that if I come in and like make this an angle or something, it is the same for both sides. I guess I'll just simplify this and do, or I'll point out kind of what I was talking about earlier. So I'll do these two. Oh, didn't mean to exit. It's horizontal but undefined, so that when I do the next step, I can do a cool little guy. So now I'm just going to select everything, assuming that all of these webs will be the same thickness. And for this video, they can't be. Sometimes you can kind of optimize your pocketing by differing your thickness, but like I said, I do not really condone a lot of people spending more time on pocketing than other things. So I'm going to come in to offset any of these bidirectional. This number is now the half web, so I'll make that 1/8. And then I'll come in and move these to there. Don't know why he's undefined. That's a little scary. SOLIDWORKS has been pretty good for me recently, but it's been glitching for these videos. Next thing, use the extend tool in situations like this to bring those up. If you're really anal, you can come in and start trimming stuff out, but I feel that that starts to waste time, and if you lay out your pocketing cleanly, trimming this stuff isn't a huge advantage, and it doesn't save all that much time. So I'm seeing now that maybe I actually did want something this way. We'll just make that horizontal for now. And I guess this is a case where we can decide to do a different thickness, even though it doesn't make any sense. But we'll do different thickness just to point that out. So let's do 3/32. That's half a 3/16. So you can see you can get different size. Next, I'm just going to extrude cut. Um, yes, I do have to select different contours here, and some people would argue that's wrong and that your sketch should be trimmed in such a way that it automatically is only one contour, but for pocketing, I really make a lot of exceptions there. And we see that I had a gap on these guys that I missed, so we are going to come in and use extend. Where is that? Under trim to fix that. And I actually should have caught that during selection. It's going to complain a little bit possibly. Oh, it didn't. It handled that well. Cool. We can see this causing a little bit of problem with the countersink, but not a big deal for this video. If you really wanted, you could come in and fix that. But I don't want to waste time on that. Next thing we're going to do is come in and use auto fillet. Fillet expert. I like to do it kind of profile by profile, because if it does crash, like if this hits that, the full preview will fail. You don't have to do left and right though, because you know left is symmetrical to right. And if we do have a crash, and I'm kind of hoping we do somewhere, I will show you how you manually fix that. We are getting lucky though. I guess in some spot though, I'm going to force a crash with a different fillet size. Oh, we're crashing right there actually. So cool. I'm going to unselect these two, and we're going to manually fix that. Which, if you're manually fixing pocketing, is one of the reasons pocketing can be a waste of time. I really advocate making stuff thinner, changing material, just having smaller stuff overall as a better way of weight reduction. So I guess it's looking out over here. Don't know what's going on there. Or what is it here maybe? There we go. As a better method of weight reduction than coming in and doing really small radius pocketing. So I'm not going to fix all the errors we had there, and I'm not going to pop this pocketing over there, because you could just continue with fillet expert. That is one of the options. Once you select one edge, it can select all of them. But if you want to come in and fix pocketing manually, and I would love if someone has a better way to do this, because I waste a lot of time on this. So I at least like to make this equal so that I have the same cutter size. And you kind of just have to come in each situation and figure out what works for you. So, or what works for the geometry. So this, I'm going to make tangent, and I keep misclicking, tangent, tangent, and the fact that it's equal and tangent, that. Fix everything. I'm going to click on these lines if I can. Having a lot of trouble with that. There we go. And do convert entities, and now I should have a sliver, not thin feature. Why is it? I have a discontinuity in here somewhere, and it's forcing me to do a thin feature, it looks like. See if that fixes that. There we go. Cool. Up the surface, and boom, now you can see you fixed that. Depending on your CAM program and who's running your CNC, if you are CNCing stuff, or if things are getting water jetted. So if you're water jetting, you could just make fillets smaller. That can be a strength issue in some spots. If you're CNCing, technically Mastercam will take, if there's a sharp corner there, and just kind of crash the cutter in, but that's not rough on the machine. It's a little rough on the cutter and leaves a bad finish. I know I don't like that when designers surprise me and I'm running the part on the router and I have to deal with that. But that's a quick video showing a fast way to pocket, because I'd like to think I can save some time that some people are currently wasting. Although I would advocate thinner plates are better. We actually pocket less on 973 than people think we do. We do a lot of 16th plate, a lot of 1/8 inch plate, versus doing 1/4 inch plate with a lot of pocketing. Just a lot of time involved. So hopefully you guys learned something here, and you can apply that to what you're doing. Cool. Thanks for your time, everybody.